All right, I just finished greasing the machine. The last time we left off, I think I had stripped this whole area out. And it rained heavily yesterday morning and this morning. It's like a reoccurring thing where it rains every morning. So then Bryson and I mapped out. It took us quite a bit because normally you'll have the GPS guy come or the surveyor come pin your four corners. But Bryce and I took our time and we found out exactly where the corners are. It took 3 tape measures, 300-foot tape measures, a lot of cussing, and a lot of arguing. But we finally figured it out. We got this point right here. We went from the center of the bulkhead out. I forget the measurement. It's like 55 and something. And then what we did is we took ties. My other son helped, and we took the 100-footers from the 2 sides corners of the house, and then the one from the center out, and wherever they crossed over evenly, the 2 side ones, that's how we got it side to side straight. So the 55 out, and then I think it was like 61 something this way, 61 something that way. So wherever the 61 something crossed, or wherever the same number crossed while we had the 55 out, is where we put the stake. And then we just triple checked it a few times. Then we just used some math to square up the other stakes. Actually, we put a center stake from that corner of the house out 55 something also. That way we were square with the house. And then we found that corner, and then we worked off of it. Took a while, but I think we got it. So what ended up happening was I realized that the bushes that were over here were gonna have to go too. I tried to save them. When I pulled them out, they all looked one-sided, like that rhododendron that she wants to save. So what ended up happening was 2 of them I crushed because they were really, really ugly, and I don't think that they were gonna come back. And then I built that little plantings berm, and I went out and spent $400, and I bought her new bushes, so she was happy. And when I say so she was happy, it's really, really more like, so I feel she was happy. She wasn't complaining or anything like that. My wife doesn't complain. She's not one of those wives that's a pain. I could tell from the look on her face when I was crushing the bush, she was not happy. She didn't say anything, but she wasn't happy. You know, you can just tell when your wife is like, what are you doing? So anyways, what I gotta do now is I gotta get this topsoil out of here. So I'm gonna load it on the 6-wheeler like we did before, and I'm gonna continue that berm out back. I'm rocking on something. I did work, it's Friday, I did work this morning. I am a little wound up because I've been doing septic systems lately. This morning and yesterday and the day before, we were doing another septic system, and I just need today to just relax. I've had a lot of rain. Well, we've had a lot of rain, and I had to do some trucking in and out of here, get rid of some brush and some other stuff, and it was really messing up the stone in my driveway. So after I got off work today, I swung by the gravel place and I picked up 3/4 stone, and I touched up the driveway. And so the front yard's looking good. I like to keep it that way. That way the neighbors don't get ticked off. And one of my neighbors, she walks her dog every day, a couple times a day, and she came by and she said the driveway looks great. So she's an older retired woman, so we got the approval of the older retired crowd. Look at this soil too. This is like really nice. I mean, it's got some remnants of the bush that I crushed. My son was telling me that he doesn't like the talking videos. Like, if I talk too much in a video, he doesn't like it. But like I told him, I was like, yeah, it's a branch. Doesn't matter. It's going in my pile anyways. Like I told him, I watch a lot of YouTube, and a lot of other people do talking too. So I mean, you got to explain what you're doing. I mean, what's the big deal? I mean, if somebody doesn't like it, just go watch something else. That was, there was a couple branches in here. I didn't separate it because it's going in my berm. Like, if I was taking this to someone else's yard, like my buddy's yard or the stump dump, I would separate it, but this is going in my privacy berm, so I don't really care. Hopefully that brush will start growing again, something, who knows. I went to Cat and I got a new piece of glass for this door, because when I bought it, it came with a piece of plexiglass and it rattles really bad. And then I got a mirror for right here, because I like to have the mirror to see, you know, what's next to me over there. All right, truck's loaded, but I gotta push the last load that I dumped before we can dump that one. And then hopefully we'll be done with the topsoil stripping, because I really want to get digging this foundation hole. It's been dragging out forever, but I just don't have the time with work. And if I skip the step 1 or 2 or whatever, then I have to come back in, try to strip that topsoil around where the foundation is, and then that's going to be a pain. But you can see this is what we're going for here. So the last time I was doing this, I don't know, maybe it was like a month ago. This is the old section, and it's starting to weed up. All these weeds get really, really big if you don't put anything on them. And then I'll show you, it starts to look like this. Obviously this pile's a little bit taller, but you start getting all of that, and then after that fills in, I'll show you what it looks like. So this is what it looks like once it really fills in. However, I don't think back there will take off and fill in as fast as this did, because there's less of that thing. So plants and weeds of that nature love the sunlight, so there's not a ton of sunlight back there. So will it get this thick? Maybe in time, but probably not as thick, which is fine with me. I have to do it again. I've already done it. I have to take the hedge trimmer down here again. So this, I mean, you can't see through this. I mean, look how thick it is, all the way to the property line. I wish it would stay like this all winter, but it's like this all summer. The funny thing is, this stays like this throughout my busy season, and then it dies off in the winter when I'm dead. So it works out good. So that's what we're going for back there. All right, so I'm gonna push those loads, but I'm gonna bring you back when we start digging the foundation hole, because you don't need to see this anymore. Wow, my hair's getting gray. Sucks getting old, but it's better than being bald. It is nice and thick. All right, laser set up. It's Monday after a long weekend of rain nonstop. And you want to dig or you want me to dig?
I'm trying to dig.
Okay, we just replaced this pin in the bushings, but now we're noticing that this pin is moving in and out. When I bought the machine, this pin was replaced, and this pin, and that big pin up there. So one more pin, and I don't know, for now, let's keep digging. You ready?
Yep.
I want to get this dug. Nope. That's your idler. He drives in the back. Doesn't matter. I'm just going along, footing this with my foot. It's like 100%. It feels like 100% humidity, but it's probably like 90 today. I had to stop digging this last week because I had to work, but we had some jobs we had to do, and then I was replacing the pin and bushing on the machine. Basically, I'm not in any hurry because it's not a customer's house. So, got my laser set up there, and we got down there. I gotta tune it up with a rake later, but finally got some more time today. Today's Monday the 15th of July, and the end of last week we were finishing jobs that we had on the books, and this Monday we have off, so we're gonna finish this. Yeah, just go until you get to this this bank. You can see where I started, where I stripped out the T-base. Just go all the way over till you're touching it. I need the hole wide. We had all that rain, and some spots over there started to wash down, so like I knew they would. A little high. I'm just trying to get it in the ballpark, and then I'm either gonna tune it up with the rake, or I'm gonna lift and raise the footing boards and spike them in with the laser on top of the footing board. Just spent $1,400 on that pin. I got no banging out of that one, and now I gotta do that one. Can't win. Gonna have machines, you're gonna have bills. Up, too low. Let's check this. All right, I'll bring you back once we've made some progress here. Don't get too ahead of yourself. I gotta check your grade. Take this hump out. Okay. Clean up this edge, please. That way it don't fall back in.
Like the wall?
No, the top, the shelf. I can't stand when the shelf falls over. Plus, I would like to have a nice flat place to walk when I'm working. That right there, though, on that side, I don't know about that, though. You're at 9 feet, 5 foot on either side. So you got 5 on one side, 4 on the other. If you want to keep it at 9. No, but you're starting to come in more, so I'd like you to, yeah, I mean, just shave this a little. Start here. You're not going to be able to come back and reach. I just want to have enough room to work. It's tough when you're digging towards yourself because the machine's motion, you always end up with a narrow V shape towards the machine. because it always pulls back towards the center of the machine. So that way pulls in towards the center, and this way pulls in towards the center. So you end up with this V shape all the time. You got to know about it and do something about it before you get too far. You're good up to this point. You're like 9'6", so it's never good to dig footings the exact width or small over dig if you don't know how long the job is going to stay an open hole. I mean, we had some torrential downpours here over the weekend, and I had a little bit of washout on the other side, but for the most part I don't have to go back in there and clean it up. You could keep stacking that higher on this side of the pile, not the other side, until this shelf fills in about like 2 feet. 2 feet's good. Don't do any more. And don't spill it on the back side unless I go look. Yeah, we made it thicker, like I said, because you kept using the side cutter. Gotta be careful, because you just undermine the clay. So then what happens, you gotta come back after and you gotta knock down the clay so it don't fall. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna use the side cutter to scrape, you gotta do like over here. He doesn't even care. We got to round this corner here. So we repositioned the machine. I painted out some guidelines for him. Pulled out this stake, and I think I'm gonna have to stack fill in here. I don't want to go too far with it, especially because we're on the last little leg. So I figure if he just starts hog this way, throw it over in this direction. I told him if you gotta fill in the end of there a little bit to bridge over it, go for it. Now here's the other thing too, like if you have one of those transponders on the thing like my buddy Dirt Boss has, by all means use that. I don't have one. I have used them before. I found out that if you use that laser rod right there, if you can't afford to have a guy with you, or you know you have a guy, that is way more accurate one and done. Those ones that are on there, if you don't have the stick position perfect, even like the new next gen machines, I don't know if you guys have seen me use my buddy James before, but I always use the teeth to figure out where the elevation is, and that's like a ballpark. But then you go down in there with that and you double check it, and it's always off. So that's why I haven't bothered getting one for the stick, because every time I double check with the regular laser, it's off. And then you got to go in the hole and you got to tune it up with a skid steer and spend extra time. This here, I can go along with my feet like you see and just kick it around with my feet, and I'm usually right on the money. Get to the end of the day, pack up the stuff and leave. See, we're getting into some dirtier stuff. And by dirty, I mean it's got millings mixed in with it, so it's not the end of the world. All right, let me get my butt down in there and do a little grading. He wants to run the machine today. And to be honest with you, I'm glad, because the only way he's gonna get better is if I, see like that little right there, that little flip? That's the stuff you gotta learn, how to do things fluently. And the only way to learn stuff like that is to use the machine as much as you can. I think what I'm gonna do later on is I'm gonna pick up all this little broken concrete and everything. And I think before we run mixer trucks in here, I'm gonna take my hedge trimmer down this wall and hedge trim it so they can go over a little bit more. I used to drive a mixer. I did about 8 months in 2008 or 9 I think. I drove for about 8 months, decided I didn't really like it, but I never like to parallel the foundation holes like that. You know, if I couldn't come on it like this or stay way over here, I'd never get too tight to it. So I think I'm gonna have to pump this also. Well, I kind of had a feeling from the beginning, and I'm gonna use the company that I used to work for, and I was talking to them, and I believe they said a pump is $1,200 for the day with a 4-hour minimum. So I'm thinking he could set up over here somewhere, and then mixers could come in, pour into the back, and then I'll get my stuff. I'll see if I can leave my truck and stuff at a friend's so they can wash out in a little pile and then back up into there where I back up and then go back out. So, change of plan. Originally, I was gonna dig this all the way out this way, load it onto the truck, and then I was gonna dig it out that way. And, you know, I was gonna pull this way and have the truck sitting over there or over there and load it on it, but I think I got enough room to keep the dirt. Reason being is because lately everybody's been asking me for fill, so I have a funny feeling when I go to get fill to bring back here if I truck it out, I'm gonna have a hard time getting fill dirt back. And I already have a big pile out back and I'm running out of room there. So we're just gonna work on getting this center out. I just stopped to grease the machine again because it's so hot out. The grease is just oozing out, just dripping, like, turns into like oil. So all right, I gotta jump in there. That one looked a little deep. Shut it off! Do you hear it go? It's got fuel though, right? 3 bars? We might want to go put 4 in it. I just drove probably, what, half an hour there and back?
Yeah.
45 minutes, would we say it is to Cat?
Something like that.
And I got a new fuel filter because the machine started sputtering weird when he was running it. Which, I didn't think that this filter was that old. I really got to start writing the dates on them. I just keep changing them, but... the problem with this machine is we don't use this as much as the small, like the mini. So when I went to Cat, she only had the spin-on filter, and she didn't have the moisture separator till tomorrow morning. So I think we're going to wait till tomorrow. This is like the longest drawn-out project ever. So let's go change the air filter because I told her while I'm there, might as well give me the air filter. And she said they were on sale anyway, so. Oh, and I ordered that other pin for the stick. Now that we know that that one's making the noise too, we thought it was just the other pin. Not as bad as the first one, 1,400 bucks. This pin in bushings is 800 bucks, but you know, what's the cost of a new machine? So this is your inner filter, and this is, if I can get it out of the box, this is your outer filter. This one off. That one's a little dirty. It's not that old, but it's definitely dirty. That does not look like that, so that was time. They don't stay white for very long, to be honest with you. And this one, it just goes right back. It's pollen. Oh yeah, it's all green pollen. There we go. Now, that on there. All right, I went to Cat and I just got the water separator filter. So the only thing of it is we may have to take that tank off eventually. I don't have time to do it today. But the reason being is I was draining the tank last night and it had a lot of water and crap in it. I don't think with this machine here not being used all the time, I think we need to change the way that we do services on the machines and not go by the hours. Although I don't know, the small Mini gets used so much that you can go by the service intervals. Trying to tighten this, but the big machine here, this thing sat all winter long, so I mean, with condensation and moisture, so I don't think I can go by the service intervals when it comes to the machines that are going to sit, which would be the chipper and the big cat. The small machines, that's no problem. So I think once we get the shop done, we're going to have to make a service bulletin board on the wall or something. No leaks there, so I want to get this over into the shade and wash out where I spilt a little fuel so we don't have a fire. All right, so I just pressure washed the whole machine. I used a little bit of degreaser. There wasn't really a lot of grease. I do keep it clean. Cleaned out all the leaves. That right there is the extent of the leaves that was in there. Reason being is like, I don't know if you guys watched that Camerata video with Andrew Camerata and his machine caught on fire right in there. Well, I've seen that happen in real life a long time ago, so I've always tried to like keep leaves out of there. It definitely needs a paint job inside there, but you know, maybe that's like a later on thing. But I wanted to get the leaves out, and I wanted to get the diesel that we spilt out before we start this up. I mean, it's pretty clean. I mean, look at this pump. I mean, this machine is really clean. So, pretty clean. So, that's that. I'm not gonna get the laser out right now. Ooh, she's sputtering a little. Yeah, I'm tired. It's about 1:30, 2 o'clock now. And I don't feel like standing out in the hot sun anymore. So I'm gonna just sit in the machine and just hog this dirt out, and whatever happens, happens. I'll probably get out and eyeball the grade best I can. This shelf's kind of big. I think I can pile a little bit more over here. If I can stay on grade best I can, we won't need the laser. And then at the end of the day, when the sun goes down, I'll do like I did last night and go out there and tune it up. Seems to be running pretty good, and I feel good knowing that it's not going to catch on fire. It's just unfortunate that I had to learn about a little lesson about filters. That stuff happens, you know what I mean? I'm not perfect. Anybody that pretends to be perfect is a liar. There's a lot of fake people on the internet that think their stuff don't stink. Well, I can tell you right now, my stuff stinks. The wind is starting to pick up. That's the thing about Cape Cod in the summer. Boy, the humidity brings in the storms, and it really gets humid and windy. I was trying to tell my son, when you shave the edges, start at the top and shave them like so. and then chase them down. If you just pull from the bottom, you pull that whole lip up. And if you're working somewhere where you can't do this big of an overdig, that little bit pulled up, you know, makes a big difference. I also want to I know I stopped talking there, but I started thinking. I also feel like I kind of want to put a little bit of dirt here in this area so people don't drive in the hole. And by people, I mean me. When I'm out here backing around. Just on the corner. Kind of like a berm. Just like a guide, like a guiding berm. I might go get the laser, I'm not sure yet. Because I don't want to get too far off course here and then, you know. I think that'll be fine. So we'll have to pull out and around that pile of dirt before we get to the corner. So I think that'll, you know, if I'm not on my game that day, I don't want to drag the trailer around that corner. So I actually don't need to pile dirt on the corner before the corner, because that'll get my trailer, that'll make me naturally go wider there and totally miss the corner. Clean up this shelf. That way if I got to walk along anywhere, I can walk along, but mainly because the dirt won't fall in the hole. Plus, if I take pictures, all my local friends will make fun of me if my job site's not neat. That's how guys are around here. You think the internet's bad, try being a contractor on the Cape. We got keyboard warriors on Facebook locally here like you wouldn't believe. The YouTube comment section is nothing compared to the local contractors' keyboard section. They will pick out everything you do. I just tell them I don't know what I'm doing. So before I move this machine again, I think I am gonna go get the laser. Reason being is because I believe I'm digging uphill. You always look like you're flat, but when you get down there, you are always like digging up towards the machine, because that's the natural motion of the machine. And if I move, I won't be able to get where we started. So we started there. Which, a good sign of where you've started is look how dry the other stuff is. So you see like the moistury part, that's where we got to be able to reach. So I'll take a couple minutes and go get the laser. The wind is picking up pretty bad. With this humidity, I wouldn't be surprised if we got a hurricane on the horizon somewhere. One year we had, a few years back, we had a tornado here, which is really out of character for this area, but it took the whole roof off of a hotel. You know what I just realized when I go get that laser? I'm I'm gonna have to transfer my benchmark because there's pile in the center. So my benchmark is that white spray painted block that we set to grade in the bottom of the hole, but it's not gonna be able to shoot through here. Actually, I take that back. If I set the laser, actually no. I am gonna have to transfer. Actually, you know what? If I move the machine out of the hole and I set the laser up like right here somewhere, I'll be able, and I back this machine up, I'll be able to shoot here after I shoot there. So we'll have to move this pile back a little. Ooh, it's hot. Hot, hot, hot. Got dirt in this thing? Oh yeah. All right, stick that on my block. Come on. Really? Really? Come on, come on. You know you wanna. Beep, beep, beep. Give it to me. What is this, limbo? How low can we go? All right. Slightly above flat line. That was painful. Everything I do lately is just painful and slow. I mean, I don't know if it's old age or if I'm just starting to suck. No, not bad for eyeball. I guess I don't suck. I'll put the laser over there and I could shoot both my benchmark and where I'm digging. But I am eating. That's the beauty of working at home. There's always snacks. Now, because I put the laser over there now, I don't have to go back to that benchmark anymore. So right there is where we started going up a little bit. Here's another thing that I don't know if guys have thought about before. OSHA describes a trench as being deeper than it's wider. That's 10 feet wide and it's like 3 feet from top of grade. So technically you don't need a trench box for this. That's another reason to dig your holes as wide as you can afford to dig them. When I say afford, I mean like if you got the real estate to do it. If you start digging all these skinny footing trenches, technically by law now you have to have shoring and trench boxing and stuff. which isn't the end of the world. It's just, I don't have that. You gotta rent it, and it's thousands of dollars a week, from what I understand. So if this ain't a paying job, I don't want to do it. All right, while I was down there, I did notice I was veering off course a little bit, so I gotta shave in a little bit more over here. Which means I got to shelf a little bit more. Looks a little high there in the middle. I'll probably get out and take a shot. Well, that's great. This side's a little high. I actually thought it was the opposite. Laser doesn't lie though. But I think I can foot this all this way. My big head's blocking it. Yep, starting to go up. Right across here, we're good to that point. All right, so I've switched positions here, trying to remove some of this dirt off the corner. Had to change the battery in the camera. I didn't realize it shut off. But I'm on the corner here. I don't know if you can see, but I went down in there and took a shot and then drew a line from there. I gotta scrape a little bit more. Probably like an inch or two. Which isn't bad, but we gotta bring it into the corner, like so. Because I was running out of room to sit, you know, I just kept backing up into the pile. Just kind of sweep it into the corner like that and then pull it out. I think after I get this all tuned up nice with the rake, probably gonna take the hose and like wet it down. I might even I don't think I'm going to take the plate compactor in there because that'll shake the sides and bring the sides down. I'll just lightly wet it, you know. So, sweep that into the corner, reposition, and then we can pull this way. Rip off the top. I am definitely teetering on something. Sometimes you just have to move like a foot or so just to stop from teetering, or a lot of times what I like to do when you're uneven is I'll opposite the tracks like this a couple times and it digs it in nice and flat. Really happy with this dirt though. Mostly sand. That's another good thing about having a big over dig. It gives you a chance to mix the material, you know, quite a few feet on either side of the wall, so you have drainable, perkable soil. You don't want to put clay next to a foundation. I've seen where it has caused a lot of problems. My brother-in-law's house, there was clay next to the foundation a long time ago. Whoever backfilled it, you know, when the house was built, and I have no idea, maybe early 90s, late 80s maybe. The house was bubbling water up by the floor every time it rained heavy. Because there's no footing drain and, you know, crappy soil. So water will find the path of least resistance, and it was the keyway between the footing. In that case, the water ran right down between the clay and the cement wall, concrete wall, and started bubbling through the floor. It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. I'll never forget it. It looked like someone had a garden hose poking out of the corner of the foundation wall and the floor. Flooded the entire basement. Destroyed all kinds of stuff. Got mold damage later on that summer. So, not that we have to worry about flooding the basement with this one, because there ain't going to be a basement. We still got that little rattling in the pin. I bought the pin this morning. Actually, I bought it yesterday. I picked it up early this morning. But I don't think I'm going to try to replace it tonight. I might wait for the weekend. $870.90 for the dog bone pin and bushings. But you know, I really like this machine, so I think it's worth spending the money to make it like mint condition. That's definitely headed uphill. I gotta go a little deeper. You guys want to see how strong this magnet is? Let's find out. Move the thumb. I got this mic now too, so yeah, it's working. Pretty cool. I'll have to play with the camera angles some more, but clean out this right here, sweep it into the corner, pull up, and then just get rid of it. Goodbye. All right, I'm so tired from the heat. I just backed this into the corner, but let's take a look. All right, so the fill didn't go past the logs. I was expecting to, you know, I don't know. I don't know what I was expecting, to be honest with you. It's so hot out, my brain is cooked. Because it's such a big area in the middle, I could stockpile such a large amount of fill. It's really, that's like the sandier stuff. Once the water hits it, it doesn't really wash too much. It perks. This stuff here with a little bit of silt will wash. So, I think that pile will be good there. Plus there's a shelf if it washes a little bit. And I put a ramp here because I got kind of tired of climbing in and out of this hole without a ramp. It is really gross out. I've changed my shirt twice today. So I'm gonna wait till it gets a little cooler out, and then I'll climb down in here and fine tune all of this. This is how it turned out. I mean, it's huge because we're supposed to get some more thunderstorms probably this weekend. So if this washes, we'll be good. Yeah, it's wide. I wanted it wide. I don't know how long this is gonna sit for. And I'm pretty happy with the way the hole turned out. I mean, it's just a hole. So anyways, stay tuned for the next one, and you can see me try to do concrete forms. Trying to do this as a DIY thing. I know you can't really say DIY because not everybody has dump trucks and Caterpillar excavators at their house, but you know, you could rent one. I don't know where you live, but you could rent one. And I don't know. It's not really a how-to anyways. Just filming what I'm doing. Catch you on the next one.